here in the Mullen Center for Game 3 of the Pioneer Valley Tip-Off. And we've got a rivalry game here between the Northampton Blue Devils and the Amherst Hurricanes girls basketball teams. Hello, everyone. I'm Josh Schreiber alongside Andrew White. And we've got a big game here coming up, Andrew.
Absolutely. The Battle of the Bridge always brings the fireworks on both the girls and the boys' side. We get the girls first, we get the boys next, but I'm ready to battle.
Yeah, we'll be on both of those games. Excited to get those started. And we've got an interesting storyline here between, not necessarily on the court, but the two coaches that are at the helm for each team. One being Perry Messer, the head coach in his 15th season for Northampton girls basketball. And tell me a little bit about him.
And he's been there for a long time. You see him right now really just tracking the starters coming on to the court for the Hurricanes. It's kind of a David versus Goliath-esque experience as we switch over to the Amherst Hurricanes.
And for the Amherst Hurricanes, they've got a head coach that you're not going to hear this very often, but is currently a student here at UMass Amherst. She is a senior psychology major and a former 1,000-point scorer for Amherst High School. That's Erin Clays, and she has been, one of the better stories you'll hear in high school basketball.
Absolutely, and with her joins her sister, who's in the starting lineup tonight, her dad, who is an assistant coach, and her mom, who is the team manager. It is a family affair here for the Hurricanes, and she's trying to turn that 1,000-point scoring notion to the team and get them into the win column for the first time this season.
We're going to take a quick break for the national anthem. When we come back, starting lineups and tip-off. Welcome back to the Pioneer Valley Tip-Off broadcast. If you're just joining us, I'm Josh Schreiber alongside Andrew White, and we've got a game between the Northampton Blue Devils and the Amherst Hurricanes girls basketball teams coming up. Real quick, we'll go through the starting lineups for Northampton. It is Sarah Molnar, Bree Havey, Tegan McDonald, Chloe Derby, and Ava Azaro. For Amherst, it's Francesca Sloan, Shannon Clays, Zola Hyam, Nina Chinapa, and Niyama Adateva.
And a player to watch for the Blue Devils wearing that knee brace is Bree Havey. Had 13 points and six of them from the free throw line against Minnechaug the last time out. The Blue Devils 2-0. The Hurricanes on the other side 0-2, but a player that's going to be hard to miss is Zola Hyam, excuse me. And she's the leading scorer, averaging double digits at 13 points a game.
So it's Adateva to take the tip for Amherst. She will win it and get it to Clays, and Amherst will start with the basketball. Adateva towards the top of the key, passes it to her right. Driving in is Clays, pass inside, and it's knocked out of bounds by Northampton, still Amherst possession. Amherst has 19 seconds on the shot clock in their first possession of the game. Pass inside, just able to find Francesca Sloan, and a rebound now by Northampton. Havey leading the charge. Passing over to Chloe Derby, back to Havey. Havey to the corner for three, gets it to go. Sarah Molnar gets the first points of the ball game for Northampton. It's a 3-0 lead. Now the full court press coming, and we've got a kick ball violation. It'll still be Amherst ball.
Molnar, another dangerous player for this Blue Devils team. 11 points in the last game, and Blue Devils off to a hot start. We're seeing the head coach Perry Messer in another great season. When you're here for 15 years, you certainly have some success, and he's off to another good start.
Clays taking it inside, gets stripped by Northampton. That's Tegan McDonald. Now Havey, top of the key. Swings it to the corner, back to Havey. Havey to Derby. Back over to Molnar inside. Some contact there by Amherst, but nice defense overall. Northampton's shot, it's Havey, is no good off the back rim. Rebound by Adateva.
There's one thing I'm going to say a lot of times as ball trickles out of bounds off of Francesca Sloan is that you got to shoot the three ball from the high school line. It is not easy to locate at times when you see the Mullen Center floor that has the college line, the now meaningless three-point line, and the high school line, but you got to get to that close red tape to really increase your chances because a college three is far.
There's Havey shooting from the college three. No good. Knocked out of bounds by Northampton. It'll be Amherst basketball.
I'm going to sound like a broken record, but right on cue. Shoots it from the deep three, which it's quite an adjustment. And when you think you're shooting from the high school line, the shot's going to take a while to fall.
As Hyam loses possession, Northampton's press ends up working that time. Almost knocked away for a moment. Now it's Havey driving inside, gets fouled on the pass, but they're going to say it's 2 shots at the line.
Yeah, might have been scooping that one up before she took a tumble to the floor, but you see the guard play from the Blue Devils already making a big impact in this game, and specifically Molnar and Havey leading the way as Havey's got a pair at the free throw line.
Havey's first is no good off the right rim. Havey made 6 free throws their last time out en route to a win against Minnechaug. Northampton 2-0 on the young season. Havey's second falls in. She's 1 for 2 from the line. A 4-0 lead for the Blue Devils. Now a football pass gets knocked away by Northampton. They will get the ball right back. Havey facilitating the offense into McDonald. McDonald now passing it, and a rebound by Amherst. Pass up the court now to Azaro. Azaro's floater is no good, and a rebound by Adateva. Adateva to Sloan. Sloan gets it knocked out of bounds.
She just couldn't handle the pass from Adateva. And it's going to be a quick timeout from the senior minute woman.
Yeah, and Andrew, we're used to saying senior minute woman for players. Now we're going to say it for coaches here. And really a cool story. We haven't really been able to talk about it much, but in her time as a player, Coach Erin Clays scored over 1,000 points, was one of just 11 1,000-point scorers in Amherst girls basketball history. And, I mean, their family footprint is all over this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of the 1,000-point scores, the list grew a little bit longer last season with Tessa Kowal, who would eventually graduate, as one does. But you can really see the hole that's been missing with this team, as she last season put up a great game, had 18 points, I believe, in what ended up being a dominant Hurricane win, 55-35 here on this floor around this time last season. And when you lose a player like that, it's going to take a little bit of time to work it back up. But when you add in an 1,000-point score as a head coach, it might happen a little quicker. Obviously, to start the season 0-2 with losses at South Hadley and at home against Frontier, it's a great time to get back into the win column, or get into the win column with a very experienced coaching staff on the other side, making it pretty difficult.
So it's Northampton with a 4-0 lead, 5:20 left to play in the first quarter. Pass to the corner, it's Molnar for three, no good. Ball gets knocked out of bounds. They're going to say it's off of Northampton, Amherst ball.
Good ball movement, getting to a wide open shot. And as the game continues on, we'll see those shots fall as the players adjust to playing in what is a huge gym compared to what they play in on, a weekly occasion.
So now it's Hyam getting the ball back. Amherst finally beats that zone press. A floater rolls all the way around the rim and out. That was Shannon Clays. Now Havey the other way. Molnar inside to McDonald, and a foul is called underneath the basket. I'm going to say that foul was on Nina Chinapa. Northampton passing the ball all the way around, and now stolen away by Francesca Sloan. Pass up to Hyam. Hyam's layup no good. Tough rebound attempt by Chinapa, who goes down hard. She is all right, though.
Yeah, no foul call, kind of surprising, as that was a pretty hard collision, but the Hurricanes are at least awarded with possession of the ball with a relatively fresh shot clock.
So it will be Francesca Sloan passing it in underneath the basket. Finding Arateva, top of the key. Now to Hyam. Hyam for three, gets it to fall. Amherst has their first points of the game with 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter. It's 4-3 Northampton.
Hyam gets on the board for the first time in the Mullen Center. Played 18 minutes last season, but only put up one shot. It didn't fall, but like I said, averaging 13 points on the season and off to a good start tonight.
Yeah, she has been their biggest scorer this year, scoring 13 in their last game. It was a loss to South Hadley.
And you scored 13 of 39 points. You're scoring
a
third of the points, and that's a pretty good number to be at as a leading scorer.
Now it's a Zaro pass. Outside three ball, front rim from Chloe Derby. Offensive rebound by Azaro, and it goes in. 6-3 Northampton. And stolen away now by Northampton. They've got a 3-on-0. The layup falls by Havey. And this zone full court press is giving the Hurricanes fits. As that pass goes out of bounds, another turnover.
The Hurricanes are doing the right thing and trying to pass the ball. Just got to kind of take a deep breath and slow down a little bit. You got 10 seconds to bring it across the timeline. That's plenty of time. Once you start stringing together a couple passes, and once you break the press, you got most of the time have a pretty good chance at an odd man rush at the hoop. And then it's going to force the Blue Devils back out of the press. But for now, Northampton dominant with all the pressure in the world.
So far, Sarah Molnar and Bree Havey each have 3 points for Northampton. Ava Azaro has 2, and she is going to be fouled on the floor. For Zola Hyam, they've got 1 bucket, and that is from Zola Hyam. We're going to get a pass underneath the basket, but not before we've got our first substitution. And a 3 top of the key from Havey, a deep 3 at that. And rebounded by Northampton. Havey still got it right wing. Tough defense by Francesca Sloan, and there's a foul, another one on the floor by Sloan.
Yeah, and into the game for the Hurricanes is Jody Bashan. First time seeing her tonight. See if she can make an instant impact with the Hurricanes down 5 early in this one.
as Bree Havey comes into the game or comes out of the game, or excuse me, she's shooting free throws. We did have a substitution as the first free throw is no good. Emmy Calkins checks in for Northampton, and Sarah Molnar checks out. Calkins a freshman, Molnar a senior. Havey's second free throw coming up, and she misses that one. So 0 for 2 at the line, but an offensive rebound by Liv Johnson, and she puts it in for 2. 10-3 Northampton. Now Adateva trying to take it all the way up the court. Nice move, and gets fouled on the shot. She'll shoot 2 at the line.
A very, very strong move to the rim, and she gets the reward with the trip to the free throw line and try to get the lead down half.
Adoteva's first is good. Crisp swish through the hoop. And the second one falls as well. Now Calkins gets it stripped away by Bashan. Bashan taking it herself, now back to Sloan. Sloan a deep, deep three. Gets it to fall, man.
Okay.
What a shot. That was a deep three by college standards.
We might see the roof come off this place. That thing was powerful.
And now a pass stolen away and rolled out by Morales Fernandez. That time, Clays loses it, and it's Northampton. So back to a 2-point ball game. Northampton with a 10-8 lead. Now passing around, a shot from the corners, no good, and here comes Clays. Clays dribbling up with the right hand, gets it stripped away, but it will still be Blue Devil ball as it rolls out of bounds.
And now you got to take advantage of the momentum, a deep three, and Clays is going to take a seat on the bench, and I think that might be a good decision, as just a couple times she's just tried to bully her way to the hoop, gotten it stripped or lost it out of bounds. Coach and older sister is probably going to let her know to kind of slow it down a little bit and try to find a better opportunity to get a shot up.
Ray Hegarty, another substitution for Amherst. She comes into the ball game. Calkins inside to Jensen. 3-ball no good, and tracked down by Sloan. Sloan's got a 2-on-3, but she's going to still take it in. A wild hook shot does not fall. Northampton basketball.
And you see the idea from Amherst is trying to really push the ball as fast as they can, and Northampton did a good job with their press to really slow them down, but there's some points where you got to understand when to just drag it out, slow it down, and either get into an offense or work for a better shot in general.
Havey still in the game to Calkins. Now Azaro. Contact on the catch, but no foul called. Havey driving inside with the left, gets fouled around the left elbow. And another foul called. This time it will be on. I didn't get the number there. Might have been Aaliyah Morales Fernandez.
I think it goes, actually, I'm going to be honest, I have no idea. A lot of the times you can kind of figure it out, but not this time. And the first free throw good from Havey.
And Havey getting to the line a lot so far today. This is her third trip. Right now she's 2 for 5 with a chance to make it 3 for 6. And she cannot. Back rim, and a rebound by Azaro. Azaro over to Oravec and gets it stolen away. Hyam now in transition. Hyam will slow it down. Kick it back out to Hegarty. Swing pass to the left corner. It's Hyam for three, backboard and out. Azaro now, one-on-one opportunity, pulls up for a jump shot and gets fouled hard. Maybe not the shot Amherst was expecting there, a mid-range pull-up, and ended up drawing the foul.
No, a big hop step, but that's the 7th foul of the quarter for the Hurricanes, and you're really going to get killed at the free throw line if giving up that many shots. And although Northampton not shooting the ball too well from the free throw line, just 4 of 8 now on those 4 separate trips. Ooh, that one's a tough roll, but.
And another offensive board.
Yeah, when you're getting offensive rebounds off missed free throws, and it doesn't really matter how you shoot.
Yeah. Zola Hyam has 2 fouls today with the ball and now thrown away by Amherst. Northampton in transition, bounce pass inside, and they'll bring it back out. A scrum for the ball, and Azaro comes away with it. Azaro now, pass to the corner, a shot by Molnar's no good. Offensive board by Azaro, who has been very, very good on the boards so far today. That is her 4th rebound in the first quarter. Amherst can hold for last shot if they choose to, but looking pretty aggressive right now. And getting swarmed is Nina Chinapa and gets it taken away. 1 second on the clock. Azaro does not get a shot up, so that will be the first quarter. Northampton with a 14-8 lead. And we're going to take a quick break, but before we do, we've got a little bit of an ad read. This Pioneer Valley tip-off presented by Oakview Group live broadcast is sponsored by the Valley Blue Sox. The Valley Blue Sox are a premier summer baseball team competing in the New England Collegiate Baseball League. With over 75 MLB draft picks, the Blue Sox have been one of the go-to spots for collegiate baseball players with eyes on the next level. Come out next summer to Mackenzie Stadium in Holyoke, Massachusetts to catch the Blue Sox live. Welcome back to the Pioneer Valley tip-off. Game 3 is Northampton versus Amherst girls basketball, and we've got a pretty competitive game so far. Northampton with a 14-8 lead, trying to stay undefeated. They're 2-0, while Amherst trying to get their first win on the season. They're 0-2.
14-8 game, but a game of runs it's been. The Hurricanes really went back hard for a little bit, but they're the Blue Devils right back at you.
Havey has Northampton with a 9-point lead. Adateva. Back to Hyam. Hyam working on Azaro. Aggressive defense by Northampton. And it's Hyam. Hyam for 3, makes it fall. It's raining triples here in the Mullins Center as Amherst cutting the deficit to 6, 11-17. Now Azaro.
Just a barrage from Amherst. Their 3rd 3 of the game. That's 9 of their 11.
Pass inside gets knocked around. A lot of tipped passes so far in this game. Hyam goes on the ground trying to make a play, and we're going to get a held ball. Amherst will get possession.
Hyam, that was their 2nd triple of the game. The 2nd leading scorer, only behind Havey, who hit her 2nd of the game. She's got 7, or that was just her 1st. She's got a lot of free throws. But the two guards going at it here at the Pioneer Valley tip-off.
Rowan Howe checking into the game for Amherst, passes it in. Hyam leading the charge. Back over to Kira Cuniff. Ursula Lundquist saying her name for the first time. Over to Cuniff. Cuniff's shot is wild and goes out of bounds off of Northampton. Two of their players kind of collided there, allowing the ball to go out of play.
Communication issues, but Rowan Howe will inbound it and an extra possession for the Hurricanes.
Howe to inbound underneath the basket, passing it into Hyam. Hyam getting a couple screens, now passing it back out to Lundquist. Back to Hyam, a mess of Amherst players all in one spot as the shot clock will wind down to 0. It's a shot clock violation.
Well, you can certainly see who Amherst is trying to play through right now, as that possession was all Hyam all the time and just never really got a good opportunity on to put the ball up. It was great defense by the Blue Devils once again.
Northampton, it's Havey. And she gets blocked by Howe, but it will stay Blue Devil ball.
And the Hurricanes in a 3-2 zone now. They understand how those guards have been hurting them and are going to try to limit that inside penetration and then the fouls that come along with it.
Inbound to Azaro. Out to Derby. Havey for 3, front rim and out. Azaro with her 5th rebound of the day, and Havey with another triple. That one no good, and another offensive rebound. Azaro thought they had lost the ball and had started to run back on defense. They do lose the ball this time, and it's Amherst ball.
That's a big shortfall with the 3-2 zone defense, is that you only have 2 players near the rim, and it can cause a lot of offensive rebounding from the other team. And Northampton's already had a ton of success inside on the offensive glass, and now, once again, have an even better opportunity as the Hurricanes go backcourt.
So another turnover for the Hurricanes. That is their 14th so far of the game.
Yeah, players like Ava Azaro's already got 4 offensive rebounds. Just so much havoc in the paint.
Now a 3 from Molnar in the corner, too long, rebounded by Cuniff. Or make that Lundquist. Hyam now with tough defense, goes behind the back to create space and passes to Cuniff. Cuniff gets trapped, getting it to Howe. Into Adateva. Back out to Howe, but stolen away by Heavy. Heavy in transition. Trying to take it all the way. Now passes all the way out to the left corner. Pull-up jumper from Derby is no good, out of bounds. Blue Devil ball.
Just great ball movement all around from Northampton. And on the defensive side, it's Tegan McDonald who's tasked with slowing down Hyam, and on that possession, she was all over. Can't stop, just playing as hard as you can on defense, and defense is all effort. She's given 100% of it.
So inbounds play is to Derby. Now it's Havey. Derby for 3, bingo! 20-11 is the lead for Northampton. And Hyam trying to take it all the way, catch the defense sleeping, gets the and 1 to fall.
Hyam's doing it all herself. She's got 8 points already of the 13 scored, and she's the only reason the Hurricanes are even in this game right now. And she took that one coast to coast, but on the other side, Derby missed the pull-up mid-range and said, all right, I'll just take a couple more steps out and I'll hit it. And put the Blue Devils at 20 in the first half, just about midway through.
Hyam's free throw just does not fall, rattles around the rim, doesn't get a friendly bounce. And Northampton will slowly bring it across the timeline. Calkins over to Havey. Calkins will have a 3-point opportunity, no good. Rebound by Derby. Havey for 3, no good again. This time it's Jensen who They're going to call a jump ball on the shot. That is the right call. Howe got a hand on it.
Good defense, but even more offensive rebounds for the Blue Devils. Boxing out's got to be in Coach Clays' halftime meeting.
And a foul called on the shot. It's Ava Azaro who will shoot 2 at the line.
And Azaro, who's leading the offensive rebounding charge, like I said before, still has 4, but 11 offensive rebounds for the Blue Devils. On the other side, the Hurricanes have none, and they only have 7 total boards, all on the defensive side. It's a 14-7 rebounding advantage for the team in blue tonight.
As the second rim's out, and a rebound by Clays back into the game. 4 starters in for Amherst, as well as Rowan Howe, the forward, as that ball is out of bounds. A miscommunication there for the Hurricanes, as head coach Aaron Clays trying to give some guidance to her team.
And you got to respect the head coaching effort from Clays. Finals week just wraps up here on the campus of the University of Massachusetts, and I'm sure she had a wonderful time through that, and now has to coach a game at the Mullen Center, really to cap off what's always an eventful week for students.
Chaotic sequence right there as Northampton ends up with possession, and then a foul underneath the basket on the rebound. It will be Amherst ball. So it's Sloan to inbound. Another press here for Northampton, which has made Amherst struggle, as we're going to get a backcourt violation.
Yeah, she caught it in the backcourt, had started in the front court, and when you don't establish yourself on the other side, that's an easy call for the official. It's just like the offsides rule in soccer to an extent.
That was Adateva who was trying to make the catch coming over the timeline, as it'll be a Northampton inbound underneath the basket. Northampton with an 8-point lead. It's kind of hung around that number for most of this second quarter.
And a lot of that's due to the offensive rebound attack from Northampton, generating extra possessions and easy shots up close and getting to the free throw line, which they'll do again right now. Every once in a while, I feel like I'm poetic. I start talking about something, and then it happens, and I feel cool. And it's already happened a couple times today, but I mean, it's not hard to predict something that's happened about 10 times already in this game, which is offensive rebounds and free throws.
Ava Azaro has certainly been at the helm of that, shooting more free throws. She makes the first. Azaro 3 for 4 on the day from the line, make that 4 for 5. And here comes the press again. Hyam getting it to Clays. Clays back to Hyam. Hyam getting a screen. She's going to take it across herself. Now taking it all the way inside and got fouled.
She's putting in a lot of effort to just draw a foul. It's another smart way to break a press, was to just do it yourself. And now they get the ball under the hoop. Not many fouls from the Blue Devils, just the second.
The 3 is no good from Amherst. And another foul underneath the basket, this time on Northampton.
No foul, just on the line was a Blue Devil off of some good extra pressure by Aaliyah Morales-Fernandez, getting this the player with the ball to kind of overthink. It was Liv Johnson, the freshman, and she slid that foot to that big red baseline and gave the ball back to the Hurricanes.
Now it's Sloan to inbound, finds Hyam. Defender falls. Hyam Euro step, puts it in for 2.
I don't know if she caused that fall, but she's going to put that on her highlight reel. She stepped through that lane and spun it up and in as she just continues an impressive showing. That's double-digit scoring for her. She's at 10.
10 in the first half, still with 2:45 to play. And a nice spin move by Azaro, trying to say anything you could do, I could do better. 10-point lead for Northampton as that pass is too strong by Hyam.
I don't know. There are some college players that couldn't make a move as smooth as that was. That was a post-move clinic. Got her right to the rim, and she just put it up and in. That was a great shot.
Amherst passing it, or excuse me, Northampton passing it around the perimeter. Now finding Azaro. Azaro will shoot it herself, rims out, and an offensive rebound by Molnar. Hyam comes away with it. Passing it to Clays. Clays passing it inside to Aaliyah Morales Fernandez.
And another chance by Clays missed, but those are the shots you're going to have to make in these situations down 10.
That time the layup is no good. An offensive rebound by Anna Oravec, and she puts it in for 2. I am trying to take control of the offense right now, weaving in and out of defenders. Knocked away by Havey, and a bounce pass just can't find Azaro. As head coach Perry Messer telling her, don't throw a bounce pass there, just lob it up to her.
Yeah, that's a classic hit ahead where it's got to go over the top, a nice soft arcing pass. But Azaro on the other side, we've got a couple double-digit scorers leading each other's teams. Azaro's got 10. You can add 5 rebounds and a couple steals onto that number.
And a wild shot that time, almost falls by Sloan. Great aggressiveness by Francesca Sloan, trying to take matters into her own hands. Northampton swinging it around. 3-ball by Havey, falls in again.
That's a basketball at its finest. Inside out, kick out to a wide open 3. And all you got to do is knock that baby down, and she did. Extending the lead now, doubling up the Hurricanes, 30-15, under a minute to play.
Havey's got 10 as well. And now it's Clays. Over to Hyam. Hyam's 3 is no good. Rebound by Clays, and it fouled hard on the shot. She'll shoot 2 at the line.
And the Hurricanes now just have to find a way to start chipping into a lead. Get a couple of these free throws to fall. Get a stop on the defensive end. And try to get a bucket. We'll see what happens with time going down the other way. But you just got to divide the games into small segments of time where you just chop into the lead and chop back. And we saw in that last game where between East Hampton and Hampshire where those Hampshire boys were able to just continue to claw their way back in. And once you start to get a team, on their heels, you can really just, put your head down, put the foot on the gas, and really drive home the win.
Clays, her free throw attempt falls, her first point of the game, as she will check out now for Ray Hegarty. There will be no shot clock if Northampton wants to hold on for final possession. Although they will not. A quick layup that time from Northampton and a foul. It's Anna Oravec shooting 2 at the line.
Oravec doing another good job inside, just like her teammate Azaro, and that's kind of been the killer for Amherst, just not having the size to really compete with this Blue Devil team.
It's also an Amherst team that is very different from last year, losing 4 of their 5 starters as the first free throw is good. First points of the day for Anna Oravec, the freshman. Oravec's second free throw is no good. Another offensive rebound and put in by Emmy Marks. 16 on the game clock. Left in the first half. 33-16 is the score. Amherst able to break the press. still facing pressure. A deep, deep three by Sloan is no good. It goes out of bounds with 3 seconds on the game clock. Northampton will try to get up a quick shot here.
I'm surprised we haven't seen more of Emmy Marks. Just a sophomore, but you can't teach that height, especially in Western Mass high school basketball.
Havey with a deep half-court shot. Goes off the side of the backboard, so that will do it for the first half. An impressive showing by Northampton Blue Devils, but some bright spots in the shooting department for Amherst as they trailed 33-16, but still a lot of basketball left to play. What are your overarching thoughts of that first half, Andrew?
Plenty of game left. The rebounding on both sides of the ball stood out for the Blue Devils. That's what's got them in as big of a lead as they have, but double-digit scoring from Heim, you're going to have to see a lot of her getting the ball in the hoop to get them back into this game.
Absolutely. So we're going to take a quick break for halftime, but when we come back, Amherst will try to make up a 17-point deficit, and Northampton will try to seal it. Welcome back to the Pioneer Valley Tip-Off presented by the Valley Blue Sox. I'm Josh Schreiber, alongside me, Andrew White. And Andrew, it was a pretty exciting and an offensive first half, at least particularly for Northampton, who scored 33 points. And a lot of that because of all that free throw shooting and points off turnovers.
Yeah, free throw shooting went 7 for 15. Definitely going to want to see that percentage increase. If you're shooting under 50% from the line, they do call him free for a reason. But I mean, it's not even close. The biggest stat that really sticks out in this one is offensive rebounds for the Blue Devils. 14 offensive rebounds, led by 4 from Azzaro, 3 from Liv Johnson, who barely played. She played only a couple minutes, but it's the entire team. The entire team has decided that they are going to get the offensive rebound, and they are taking the Hurricanes are taking that not to heart yet. They got to find a way to get some rebounds. They're getting out rebounded 20-11 on the game, but the only reason they have as many points as they do, Zola Hyam with 10 and with a couple of 3 balls, but she's the reason they're in that game. Or they're even remotely close in this game. On the other side, a couple double-digit scores with Bree Havey as well as Ava Azzaro, who both have 10 respectively. And it's tough to stop when you have just a two-headed monster of players, and we haven't even heard too much from Sarah Molnar, who kind of makes them the 3-headed monster. If she can get going from beyond the arc, then they are a dangerous, dangerous team.
Yeah, and well, the biggest stats, like you mentioned, the rebounding. Northampton is leading that category 20-11. And if you look at offensive rebounding in particular, it's 14-2. So heavy discrepancy there. And then the turnover battle as well is really kind of shocking. Amherst with 20 turnovers in the first half, Northampton with 8. And a lot of that is just because Sarah Molnar, Bree Havey, they each have 3 steals apiece. Ava Azzaro, Emmy Calkins, they have 2 apiece. So when you're able to force that much pressure with that press, I mean, things are pretty easy for you on the offensive end.
And the head coach, Perry Messer's got to just love it. Love it when you have so much production from every single player on the defensive end at that. There's times where it is impossible to get players to play defense because it is not an easy thing to do. You have to put in a lot of effort, and the Blue Devils mixing how they're playing their defense has just got the Hurricanes in a spin.
Yeah, it certainly does. As the boys team for Amherst is warming up on the court right now as the teams are just about ready to come back onto the court. About a minute 30 before play, but just a reminder, this broadcast of the Pioneer Valley Tip-Off presented by Oakview Group Live Broadcast is sponsored by the Valley Blue Sox. Valley Blue Sox are a premier summer baseball team competing in the New England Collegiate Baseball League, that's the NECBL. With over 75 MLB draft picks, the Blue Sox have been one of the go-to spots for collegiate baseball players with eyes on the next level. Come out next summer to Mackenzie Stadium in Holyoke, Massachusetts to catch the Blue Sox live.
And I had the honor to be the play-by-play guy as well as essentially the broadcast director for that. All the equipment you see here being used for this broadcast, all 4 cameras are used down in Holyoke to put on a broadcast of the quality of ESPN Plus worthiness. And it's showing off here as that high camera, the center court camera, is one of the best cameras I've ever worked with. That's relatively inexpensive for how good of the quality. But the Blue Sox have featured a couple who would end up to be future big leaguers, the big names, Trey Mancini and Jake Cronenworth. So there are MLB guys that come through there, and I think there are a few this past season who will end up, and like people say, it's not the Cape, which is by far the best summer collegiate baseball league, but the NECBL sits nicely at 2. And Josh, I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear.
I'm not talking. I'm very thankful for the Valley Blue Sox.
The Cape League hierarchy that you're getting from it. The Blue Sox had significantly better of a broadcast than anybody.
It's a crazy take. Anyways, Andrew's lost his mind, and it's only 8 o'clock almost. We're ready to keep playing as Azaro comes away with her third steal of the day, going coast to coast and laying it in for 2. The first points of the half as Northampton coming out of the locker room hot.
Great way to come out of the break for the Blue Devils. A turnover and a bucket, now getting a defensive rebound and some frustration from the Hurricanes. That was an absolute rocket of a pass, but it actually was a good pass. Azaro just couldn't find it. I thought that one had, it was like a quarterback throw up the court. It would have fallen right into the breadbasket. She just took her eyes off of it and lost it. Now here's even more pressure.
As Arateva, Clays, and Hyam work to break the press. Clays now taking it inside. Her floater off the backboard falls in. And the Amherst bench is fired up.
And if Clays is anything like her older sister and now head coach, we're going to see a lot more of those baskets start falling. Just couldn't really get the rhythm going in the first half.
Floater from Derby does not fall, and it's Amherst ball.
And good fight down low to start the half from Amherst, who did a great job breaking the press the first time and now have another opportunity to swing the ball around a couple times and get it over.
Chinapa breaks the press, knocked away by Havey. And all 10 starters are on the floor right now for these two teams. Might be some foul trouble later on, but Amherst has kind of started to bring the aggressiveness down a little bit as the game has gone on. Clays taking it inside again, gets that one knocked away, but they will stick with possession.
They're going to check the shot clock as it was at 35. They're probably going to have to adjust that to from where it's at 20 to something else. But, you know, the Pioneer Valley Tip-Off is a fully student-run event. It is entirely by the McCormick Student Leaders Program and McCormick Sport Management programs here at UMass, which means a lot of this stuff students are just getting their hands on for the first time, including the scoreboard, which a lot of people don't understand is actually pretty difficult.
Yeah.
And the person coming over to help the scoreboard right now is Alexa Kelly, a now former women's basketball manager, and I can assure you one of her daily tasks was running the clock during practice. And she has done it in this very building, which should give her the opportunity to use that experience and teach whoever's on the scoreboard right now, as it looks like the scoreboard is right. Smiles on everybody's faces as it looks like we'll get back underway.
So it's Clays to inbound underneath the hoop. Finding Arateva. Now Hyam. Back to Arateva. And Hyam again. Hyam for 3, no good. Clays saves it from going out of bounds, but into the hands of Havey.
Good effort, just no one there on the other side. And might see a bit of fatigue now from the star guard.
As Molnar hits the 3 on the other end for Northampton, they've got their biggest lead of the day. It's 20 points. That one will go out of bounds. It will be Blue Devil ball.
And assuming a miracle comeback, the Blue Devils getting some revenge from last season where it was handed to them pretty good. A big, big loss. And it was Tessa Kowal who graduated, and we couldn't find her playing any level of collegiate basketball where she definitely could have, knowing how she played. But a little bit of revenge now in the second year of meeting here in the Pioneer Valley Tip-Off.
And Tessa Kowal was another 1,000-point scorer after Coach Aaron Clays, as the 3 ball falls from Havey.
Havey is now hot. She's up to 13 with 3 assists, 2 rebounds, and 3 steals. That's one of the more complete lines we're going to see this showcase event.
In a 10-second violation, Amherst could not break the press in time.
You don't see the head coach, Perry Messer, taking the foot off the gas just yet. Already nearly up 30.
As the jump shot falls from Molnar, starting to find her footing offensively. She's been very good defensively so far. And Clay's taking it all the way. Her right-handed layup falls in.
Couple buckets. She's now got 4 and 4 today. She takes care of the ball. She's a dangerous, dangerous player.
A three-pointer again from Derby. That one rims out. Azaro with the offensive board, and she got fouled.
Her 7th rebound today. She gets another trip to the free throw line. She's got to work on making them as the game continues on, but you can see the confidence just continue to grow for Northampton as they continue to just shoot it very effectively. And even when it doesn't go in, you got a player like Azaro there to clean up pretty much everything.
Azaro's first free throw falls.
You know, she's honestly not even shooting that bad. She's now 5 of 6 from the free throw line. I missed a couple of her attempts where I just associated with them with someone else, but she's having a really complete game percentage-wise as well.
We're going to get a held ball. Possession arrow points towards Amherst. Well, I thought they're going to say it was Northampton ball. The possession arrow was pointed towards Northampton, or towards Amherst, and it still is. As the layup by Havey does not fall, but it is a foul. They now adjust the possession arrow.
And it's just, you know, first year coaching woes for Aaron Clays. The general rule of thumb is it's not built in a day. As we see you and me as we call the women's basketball games who are in a similar situation with a first-year head coach here for the Minutewomen. It takes time to really start building a culture and figuring out how to be a head coach. When I talked to head coach Mike Leffler of the UMass Minutewomen, he said he's still trying to learn how to be a head coach. And I'm sure that's the same way for the senior in college.
Yeah. As a pass all the way up the court and a missed layup by Amherst. Azaro the other way, moving quickly. Pass up to Molnar. Molnar will slow it down. Getting it back to Azaro. Azaro in the post. Her jumper doesn't fall, and it's going to be a foul on Azaro on the rebounding attempt.
And these are moments where you got to balance the aggression with the, intelligence where, you're crashing the boards very well, but don't start picking up cheap little fouls that sit you back down on the bench after a short period of time. Fortunately for her, just her second personal.
Still a zone press for Northampton, but Amherst breaks it fairly easily this time. Another deep three by Sloan off the front rim. And an offensive rebounding attempt and a jump ball. It's going to stay Amherst possession with that confusing possession arrow that we had a couple minutes ago.
Yes, now it is all sorted out. They've already moved it, so they learned from that first mistake. And like I said before, all college students, so to say it'll go perfect every time is a bit of a rough claim.
As Hyam gets fouled on her shot, she'll shoot 2 at the line. Hyam in double figures. Has not scored yet in this second half. Hyam's first free throw of the day does not fall. As Sloan will check out for Amherst. Hyam's second free throw is good, 1 for 2 on the day.
Now
And 11 points.
She sees the ball go in the hoop. As shooter's mentality, once you see that first one go in, that could be the lid that just comes off of it.
Deep three by Derby, swishes it home. Northampton putting on an offensive clinic. They've got 49 points with just under 4 minutes in the third. Now a pass up the court gets blocked by Jensen.
6 3-point makes for the Blue Devils, nearly outscoring the Hurricanes by themselves just beyond the arc, and now even more. Azaro wanted a piece of it.
Jensen offensive board, and another held ball, and again it will be Northampton with a possession.
Keep generating extra opportunities. 25 rebounds to 12. It's the Blue Devils' advantage over the Hurricanes, but this has been one of the more dominant showings in any basketball game I've really ever watched. It's all facets of the game, and it's just continuing to just rack up the score.
Havey for 3 in the left corner. Does not fall. Azaro with the offensive board. Her shot off the backboard goes in.
I mean, guess who? 8th rebound, 15th point. Azaro leading the charge with a lot of good players behind her. Havey has 15 as well.
That time Clay's taking it into the hoop for 2. 51-23 is the score. And a foul called. Substitutions for the Hurricanes.
And our live stats give us a pretty good, an interesting kind of analytical rating, the net ranking, like kind of what you see in college to rank the players, but no one else is over, no one's over 100 for the Hurricanes. But on the other side, Havey, Derby, and Azaro all over that triple-digit number. You can add Molnar to that as well, and then you have Marks, Oravec, and McDonald all over 80. And that beats the entirety of the roster of the Hurricanes, and you can do with those metrics what you will. But it's
especially
just
at the high school level.
Dominance over and over.
Amherst passing it around. A little bit chaotic, but organized chaos. And stripped away by Northampton. It's Oravec. Her pull-up jumper got blocked. And Amherst the other way. Hyam up to Adateva. Adateva's layup might have gotten tipped. Hyam gets the rebound and puts it in for 2. Hyam's team high 13 points. Bree Havey and Ava Azaro, as you mentioned, both with 15. They've got the game high. Derby swings it to Azaro. Azaro thought about a deep 2, but now dribbles it instead. Passing it inside, back out to Havey, deep 3. Gets it to fall.
Keep it going. Just easy basketball being played by the Hurricanes. As just the inside out play, kickouts for 3s, it's just too easy for the Blue Devils.
Havey a bit slow to get up, but ends up being okay.
Definitely not comfortable to get run over.
No.
Anytime, and she also gets the foul to her name instead, so the harm and the foul. You hear a lot of the hoop and the harm. Now you get the harm and the foul. Kind of 2 negatives for what's been a very positive game for her.
Kira Cuniff passes it into Hyam. Hyam trying to take it all the way. Her floater banks home. Up to 15 points.
A big bright spot for this Hurricane team as she's found a way to get buckets and now forces a turnover, putting some extra pressure on Molnar. And although they're up by nearly 30, It's a timeout by the Blue Devils to, just kind of organize everybody as they get a couple rough possessions in a row.
So there's a minute 14 left in this third quarter. Northampton leading convincingly, doubling the score of Amherst. It's 54-27, and they've really been impressive offensively.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm a broken record. I thought I was going to be a broken record about the three-point line. It's just about how good the Blue Devils have been today. Just consistent pressure from all facets of the game. Every player that's gone in has made a good impact. And forcing a ton of turnovers, 24. The Hurricanes have done a good job limiting turnovers here in the third quarter, but the deficit might just be a little too much at this point. But
yeah,
you got to find a way in these last 9 minutes and 14 seconds to find something to take into the next game.
And really the biggest difference is Northampton, they're shooting around the same percentage-wise, but Northampton has 20 more shots on the day. Just due to those turnovers as we get another here.
It all comes from the turnovers and offensive rebounds. You get an offensive board 8 times out of 10, you're going to have a pretty good shot at the rim quickly.
As Yadi Bashand up slowly. She's got a knee brace on that right knee. She's trying to walk it off right now. Seems to be all right.
Looks to be, and you can see the crowd starting to file in as the headliner for the Pioneer Valley tip-off is the Battle of the Bridge on the boys' side. Same matchup as this, going to tip off around 9 o'clock and potentially a little sooner depending on how this game finishes up. But the energy in here is going to be really, really good, and last year was an absolute shootout between the two, going all the way to overtime in the last minute or last second bucket to win it for the Blue Devils, leaving a bad taste in the Hurricanes' mouth, who try to get some revenge after this one.
So Tegan McDonald misses both free throws, but still a 27-point lead. Adoteva taking it herself, hits one off the backboard and in. Adoteva, the only remaining starter, still in the starting lineup for Amherst from last season. And it's still Northampton passing the ball around. Great ball movement. Corner three. No good. Offensive rebound again by Northampton. They can hold for last shot again if they choose with 17 on the clock. Still swinging the ball around the perimeter. It's Neoma Lane. Over to Calkins, back to Lane. Three in the corner from Molnar, no good. And that will conclude the third quarter. We're gonna take a quick break, but when we come back, we've got 10 more minutes of Northampton versus Amherst girls basketball. You're listening to PVTO basketball. Josh Schreiber alongside me, Andrew White. Game 3 of the Pioneer Valley tip-off is 3/4 of the way through. Northampton has put together an impressive performance as they lead 54-29. An offensive showing for them. And this season, Northampton has already had their season high in points with 54. Previous high was December 6th at Pittsfield. They won that game 49-39, and they're about 8 minutes away from being 3-0 on the season, as we're going to get a foul on the rebound attempt by Emmy Marks. Amherst ball.
And now the focus of this game turns into getting the job done on what the teams need to work on. There's plenty of room when the game's kind of already decided to just play hard and also focus on your missteps that might have happened through the game or through the early season so far.
As Francesca Sloan not too happy with the call. That ball out of bounds for Northampton. 7:30 to play. Derby to Havey into Marks. Marks may have gotten away with the travel, but backed out to Havey. Marks' shot gets fouled on it, and she'll shoot 2 at the line.
More free throws. 10 for 21 have been the Blue Devils, but that is so many trips to the line. It's, I don't know exactly, but it's probably 9 or 10 depending on, or 10 or 11 depending on and ones, but just 6 on the other side. Just another thing that Northampton's done great is also not fouling on the other side. Sometimes that gets away from you, especially when the clock stops as many times as it does to shoot free throws on the other side. There's plenty of opportunity to get fouls, but they're not doing it. They're guarding hard, but they're guarding smart and safe.
Marks goes 1 for 2, and Havey with another steal. Havey all the way, lays it in with the right hand.
20 points.
57-29.
20 points. The Hurricanes only have 29. Azaro and Havey outscoring Amherst handedly by themselves.
So it's Adateva. And a foul called underneath the basket. Trying to get it to Nola Hyam. And they'll pass it in underneath the basket. Hyam to inbound. Finds a teammate. That's Aaliyah Morales-Fernandez, and the foul called again on Francesca Sloan. So a little confusion on what number that foul was called on. It was Francesca Sloan, as we're going to get a substitution now. It's Nina Chinapa in for Sloan.
It's a smart decision by the head coach to take Sloan out as she's had some conversations with the official, and she's never been too happy in any of them. So just to kind of sit her down, let her cool off for a moment before she enters back in, not get those rough technical fouls, which are really tough to get in high school.
Adateva with the rebound. And falling on the play, and Clays just barely misses her 3. Havey working on Chinapa. Gets it back into Marks. That pass stolen away by Adateva. And Hyam will give it back to her. Adateva with the Euro step gets fouled. She'll shoot 2 at the line. Adateva with 4 points on the day. Her first trip to the line, or make it her second trip to the line as she misses the first. She's now 2 for 3 from the charity stripe. Now 3 for 4. And Amherst has 30 points. Havey facilitating the offense over to Derby all the way across the court. Inside to Jensen. Almost loses it, now she does, and it's Clays who comes away with it. Gonna call a double dribble that time. Thought maybe it was a Northampton hand that got in there, but no.
No, she just picked that one up and put it back down, as the old Planet Fitness commercial goes. But it's another turnover as they continue to just rack up. That's 5 on Clays, 27 as a team, and that's an insurmountable number.
Derby's deep 2, no good. Rebounded by Clays. Clays taking it up with the right hand. Finds Adateva. Now Chinapa. Chinapa inside, gets fouled on the shot. She'll shoot at the line.
Good strong play to get to the free throw line and continue to just get more buckets and do whatever you can.
So Amherst has scored 31 points exactly in both of their 2 games this season. They're at 30 right now. Chinapa can make that 31 here.
Yeah, on pace to break that by a pretty significant margin. And those are the things that you look at. And when you watch the film back, you figure out what went well and try to target that if you're Clays or head coach Clays. And it seems like defense and rebounding is going to be a big stress in their next practice.
Northampton swinging the ball around. Hyam is going to get called for the foul. She can't believe it. She thought she got all ball that time, and so it'll be an inbound for Northampton underneath the basket. And they get it in. Eva Zaro. Back to Neoma Lane. Molnar to Havey. Havey's 3 rims out. And another offensive rebound by Azaro. Havey gets hit hard, no foul called. Gets it right back. Inside to Azaro, who puts it in for 2.
37 points from Havey and Azaro. Just unstoppable. It's really just unstoppable.
They have been really, really good. Adateva trying to take it in herself and shoots it off the other side of the backboard. Head coach Erin Clays puts her hands on her head.
And sometimes you just lose your footing, and when you play in this is a much bigger court just in general, let alone the size of the arena. So sometimes it's hard to kind of figure out how to operate in general, as it looks like Azaro's down, and that's not good.
Azaro, they're going to help her up as she's going to get some help from her teammate Bree Havey getting to the bench. Nice round of applause there.
Yeah, hopefully she's okay, because she really has been a special player today. 17 and 9. She's probably very frustrated, aside with being hurt, to not be able to get the double-double. Double-doubles don't come too often in high school basketball. And she was well on pace to just get one more board.
Clays taking it herself. Nice rebounding attempt by Howe. Keeps possession alive, and it's Adateva. Now Clays getting a screen from Howe over to Adateva. Swings it all the way over. Zola Hyam for 3. No good front rim. And another offensive board by Chinapa. Hyam tries to follow. No good on hers. And an offensive rebound, or no, defensive rebound by Neoma. Ends up getting just pushed a little bit out of bounds and not able to hold her ground. It'll be Amherst ball.
No, but a great possession by Amherst to get a wide open shot, an offensive rebound, then another great opportunity for Hyam, who's got 4 fouls. She's on the brink of falling out of this one.
Hyam into Chinapa. Chinapa gets fouled on her shot, and she'll get another 2 at the line. Zola Hyam has 4 personal fouls, as does Yadi Bashan. Chinapa's free throw is good, and a season high 32 points now for the Amherst girls basketball team. When they've gotten their shots, Andrew, they've done a pretty nice job in hitting them. It's just kind of been being overwhelmed by the press and on the boards that has been the difference maker. You can see that there's something there offensively, though, as Chinapa goes perfect from the line, 2 for 2.
They've got some great shot makers and players who play hard, who were just outmatched in this game, and that's kind of been how the season's gone through the first 3 games. But Hyam and Clace really show that they could be the number 1 and 2 options. But they gotta kind of shore up some of the dirtier parts of basketball, getting in the trenches to get rebounds and playing hard defense, and that was kind of the killer today, as they just got out-rebounded to a front.
So Northampton to inbound. It's Michaela Fidenkevich into the game for the first time.
And
another clock issue now.
There's a couple conversations, but Bree Havy's plus 30 today. Azzaro's plus 30, and those two compared to everybody else, that's pretty much it. Molnar plus 23, but you could see the impact those 3 leave on the game.
3 is missed by Northampton, and it's Zola Hyam bringing it up. Now Adateva. Euro step inside, a little too strong on the finish, but a nice move to get to the rack.
Yeah, great move. Just got to finish. Those are the things that come first typically. Once you get the step through, but you just got to make layups.
Derby, cross-court pass. And no good on the floater is Emmy Calkins. And ball on the ground somehow finds Michaela Fidenkevich. There was a scrum. I think 8 of 10 players on the court were on the ground except for Fidenkevich. She came away with it and got the shot to fall. Hyam gets it knocked away. Blue Devils up the court. Kira Cuniff on defense. And now Hyam rips it out of the hands of Fidenkevich. Adateva into Howe. Howe's floater gets blocked partially by Lane. And then a foul called on Clace. It'll be shooting. So Emmy Calkins will go to the line. .155 left in the game. Northampton with a 61-33 lead over Amherst, make that 62. Calkins with her first point of the game, trying to find that second.
The Amherst cheerleaders chanting "Ring Around a Rosie" does not affect the shooter. She hits the back end. That's an interesting little tactic to kind of distract the opponent.
You never know what you're going to hear out of a high school student section or cheerleaders for that matter. As Zola Hyam gets fouled on the shot. No, they're going to call a travel
That's a morale killer. That was a great move. Just this isn't the NBA, no gather step, and she took that extra step, and the referees are the no fun police right now.
Yeah. Maybe the play of the day for Amherst.
Yeah, no fun police, but they did make the right call, so they are just doing their jobs. and last year at the PVTO, I was the PA guy. There was no broadcast. There's a good make from Emmy Calkins, but there was an ad read where anytime I sensed there was some distaste to the officials, I put the ad read of, well, if you complain about the ref, here's the link to sign up to become a ref. It definitely got some chuckles, but you got to respect these officials for taking the time out on these Friday and Saturday nights. Pretty much Saturday days. Tomorrow is a basketball fest here at the Mullen Center.
As Howe gets the block. And here comes Hyam in transition. Euro step finish with the left and one. And Nola Hyam gets her and one back after having one taken away.
And she's also doing it all with 4 fouls. She's been 1 foul away from falling away from this one for a long time, for probably about the 6-minute mark. So she's did a good job playing cautiously on defense and turning that into offense. She's got 17 and now make it 18.
Zola Hyam converts on the and one. It's a 65-38 game. 2 seconds separate the shot and game clock.
Did I hear Old McDonald had a farm?
I think you did. So it's nursery rhyme central as Emmy Marks puts it in for 2. Emmy Marks has 5 on the day. Hyam for 3, no good. Rebound by Clace. Clace taking it in with the left, finishes. Beautiful floater.
As the time's going to expire, that gets her to double-digit points. 28 between Clace and Hyam.
Now it's Calkins. Puts it in for 2. A nice finish by her. She's had a really nice 4th quarter, but that will do it here from Game 3 of the Pioneer Valley tip-off. Northampton with a convincing 69-40 victory. Andrew, what did you like in that game?
Just a really complete performance. 20 points from Bree Havey. Ava Zaro had 17 and as well with 9 rebounds. And those are the games that you kind of got to put away early, and that's exactly what the Blue Devils did.
So thank you for tuning in. We'll be right back in, let's see, about half an hour for the final game of the day as Amherst and Northampton, a big-time rivalry on the boys' side, will take the court coming up. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the PVTO Tip-Off brought to you by the Blue Sox.